What's going on, world? Coming at you guys again. We got another quick video. Midterms. Let's talk about it. So, midterms are coming up, and the reality situation is we are at a point to where we have to make decisions as Americans to continue to facilitate the measures in which are in place or to transition into a spectrum of the unknown. As it stands right now, the Republican Party is representing America as best as it can, and there are strategies that are being implemented to create more sustainable as well as economical uh, softening for all American citizens. It takes time. These strategies have to be implemented appropriately to make sure that we have the continuous safety and security of our economy to ensure that we have a healthy environment as well as country for our current citizens, their children and grandchildren, etc., etc. Now, what we are currently seeing from individuals like Abdul El Sayed, which is an individual who is running for senator, I believe, in the state of Michigan under the Democratic Party. One of the things I really need you guys to understand is yes, America, we are $40 trillion in debt, but that debt primarily came under Democratic leadership as well as Democratic constituents whom have been consistently investigated and charged with millions and billions and over the years now trillions of dollars worth of fraud. We've seen individuals like Nick Shirley, a true bona fide American that has come out swinging guns blazing to make sure that America's tax dollars are being researched as well as found to make sure that they have been utilized in an appropriate measure. So when we look at individuals like Abdul El Sayed, the narrative in which he is trying to speak on has really no place as a senator. Maybe if he was governor or maybe if he was running for president, these would have an economical impact as well as a significant impact on his constituents. But as it stands right now, the majority of opinions in which he is issuing are primarily based on the notion and the measure of gaslighting and just talking points, right? They don't have a major impact for the majority of the topics in which he is trying to speak on and the ideas and he wants to implement. He is not going to have the power nor the capacity to, I don't believe, engage 90% of the issues in which he's talking about. So, again, we are coming off of COVID. We are coming off of 4 years after COVID to where we saw an influx of millions of people, waste, fraud, and abuse. This takes time. We cannot change in America or create the change in America appropriately just after 2 years of Trump being in office. These issues are now coming out, so we have to be able to respond to them appropriately. We are again $40 trillion worth of debt, which I believe are primarily, well, I believe majority of it's been done based off of Democratic fraud. And unfortunately, the reality situation is I personally believe Abdul El Sayed is running for senator because by him being in the position, it prevents America from expanding. I've said this before. The change that needs to happen in America has to do with expansion. It is at this point in period of time to where we have allies in the Middle East, specifically Israel, that we need to reaffirm and re-strengthen those ties. And we need to have a candid conversation, yet stern conversation with Benjamin Netanyahu and other individuals whom have the seating within Israel's governance to make sure that we are all on the same board and we are all playing in a field in which is appropriate to make sure that we have change in America so that it has the capacity for all Americans to have wealth, prosperity. because as it stands right now, we must expand. If we do not expand, America will turn on itself inward, and it will either implode or it will consume itself. And what we know as capitalism will quickly turn into communism. This $40 trillion of debt, it's going to have to be paid from economical resources for American infrastructure. It's going to have to be paid through the majority of the individuals who make up the stock market for these millionaire and billionaire 500 tech companies, and resources through the Dow Jones Industrial Average or the New York Stock Exchange is it's the Nasdaq. And after that, whatever is left over, when you go look at the U.S. debt clock, the U.S. debt clock has already itemized and allocated specific amounts of debt that each American citizen is responsible for. If you're 18 years and older, it's about $250,000 to $300,000, and if you're 17 years and younger, then it's around $150,000 to $200,000. And through the 13th Amendment and the Fair Debt Practice Act, when you get enough people in the Senate to vote to repeal the Fair Debt Practice Act, then you can be jailed for failure to pay off your portion or your share of the national debt by being an American citizen, because this is a privilege and immunity that you hold under the 14th Amendment as well. So I need you guys to understand this. The best path forward for America is Republicans in office and expansion in order to facilitate the safety and security of America as a whole, which means that we need to have an honest, open, candid, yet stern conversation with Israel and possibly Ukraine, because America has to expand. We are 50 connected states, but we also have U.S. territories. So it's time for America to have some form of strategy that implements what we have currently here in this country, because America is the most diverse country on the planet. No other country is as diverse as America. That's why we have so many different people, so many different places. In every major city around the world, there's nothing like America. In America, you can go to major cities in America and you'll have almost every ethnic, culture, cuisine, restaurant available to you, because we are the melting pot. And the reality of the situation is, what we need to implement and what we need to continue to implement is change in America. So if you guys are interested, like, share, subscribe, follow, so we can get this ball rolling and we can get this message put out that we need to make sure that we keep America strong and we have the capacity to ensure the change in America is done so to support all Americans, foreign and domestic.